If you want to make 2025 your best year, then you need to follow this glow up plan. So the number one thing that you must do on your ultimate glow up plan to being your best self for 2025 is to change your mindset and accrue some knowledge. First of all, for knowledge, you need to know what books you're going to read. You need to know what philosophy you might kind of want to know more about, which you could include in your lifestyle. For example, maybe Stoicism, and what YouTube channels that you're going to delve into to get more of that content, to know more about the things that you want to change. A tip for you is to read Atomic Habits. I love this book so much. It's about basically just getting 1% better each day, and that will help you so much on your glow up journey because it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. You know, a glow up takes time. You can't really just do it like super quickly, especially if you want kind of like an inward and maybe an outward one as well. So yeah, this book put me in my most productive era. It was like last year when I read it, which is just after Christmas, so it was such a good time for New Year's, and I had like 3 months of just pure like productivity. It was the most productive and the most kind of self-development work that I've probably done in like one go. Changing your mindset is so key because self-love is so important, and it goes hand in hand with self-discipline. And in any transformational period in your life, any era, you need to have that self-love, otherwise you're not going to be self-disciplined. Because as I talked about in my previous video, which you can go and watch somewhere here, I talk a lot about this and how it's so important to have that mindset shift if you want to go on any sort of transformational journey, and one that is going to have that kind of self-improvement. Because realistically, you need to understand that you are who you are. You need to accept your past, your present. That's going to shape your future, and you need to accept that. And it all starts with self-love, which will lead to self-discipline. The second thing that you need to do is to develop a morning and evening routine. So you need to know when you're going to go to bed, or when you're going to wake up, if you're going to have any sort of rest days, what time you're going to wake up then, what time are you going to go to sleep then. And sleep is so key, it's so important. I've actually been quite blessed in terms of like my sleep. I've generally not had too many issues with sleeping. Sometimes if I get quite anxious or I'm not in the best mood in terms of, you know, something bad's happened, or I'm anxious for something to happen the next day, then I can struggle with my sleep, but generally I'm kind of blessed with it. And women need more sleep than men. Women need about 8 to 9 hours, which I know is probably hard for you to maybe think about actually getting in, but honestly, prioritizing your sleep will give you so many benefits. It's like endless. For example, having a good night's sleep will actually decrease your risk of so many illnesses and diseases later in life. For example, dementia. If you sleep the amount that you're supposed to and you sleep well, then there's lots of things you could be preventing. So it's so worth just trying to figure out how you could possibly help your sleep schedule. One tip that I will give you is to get a sunrise clock. I love my sunrise clock so much. It is so much better than like a traditional alarm clock, because for one, I can just put my phone on like the other side of my room so it's not next to me when I wake up. That's another thing. Don't go on your phone as soon as you wake up. For me, kind of going to sleep with my phone is a little bit different because I know I can go to sleep quite easily, but waking up is something different because I'm just immediately consuming things that is not good for my brain, it's not good for me. I need to focus on myself and like having a relaxing morning and not getting overwhelmed with everything that's happening in the world as soon as I wake up. It's too much for you and your brain. But anyway, yeah, so a sunrise clock is really good because it will wake you up gradually and naturally instead of like setting you off and really hurting your nervous system. So fitness is key. Fitness is so key to life because what you're doing now impacts you in the future. So if you're just sitting down for like 8 hours a day, and I'm guilty of sitting down for too much because, you know, I'm sitting to do work, I'm sitting to plan videos, and I'm sitting right now to film the video. But I think especially as a generation, like Generation Z, we're so used to like just sitting down. I think once we get past the age of like playing sports and doing like physical exercise in school. If you want to be 80 years old, 90 years old even, and able to walk around on your own, still feeling good, still being able to bend down and pick things up, and you know, just having that freedom and that ability to move. I mean, we take it for granted when we're, you know, in our 20s and in our teens because we just have it, but imagine just not being able to do some of the simplest things, and that's what it will be like if you don't treat your body how it should be and allow it to have that exercise, stretch it, you know, do all the things that is going to help you actually in the future. So for me, I think having a good plan really helps out in terms of fitness and making it stick. So for me, I really don't like going to the gym. I really kind of hate the gym. To me, it's so boring. I hate it. I don't find any joy in it, and therefore I don't want to go back. So instead, I'm trying to do sports and things like that. So I've tried badminton for a couple of months now, and I just love it so much. It's a hobby. Like, it's now my hobby. And so I think we need more hobbies. Like, realistically, we need to be doing more things than just sitting inside on our phone and going to work and then coming home and doing the same thing again. Because like, we need to do more things that's fun for us and that's gonna be helpful and healthy too. Also, another thing that's going to be really helpful is that doing some sort of maybe like a sport that becomes a hobby, you'll meet people who are like-minded, and which will lead you to making more friends, which again in turn is so helpful. It's good for you, you know, we're social animals. And so yeah, I love doing sports instead of going to the gym, but if you love going to the gym, then that's great. Any sort of physical activity that is, you know, makes you feel good is amazing, and you need to keep up with it. But also I'd recommend kind of implementing things for when, you know, there's going to be days where you're not feeling the best. For example, maybe you feel a little bit run down with a cold, maybe it's your time of the month, maybe you're just feeling quite sluggish, or something really bad's happened recently and you're just not feeling it, you don't want to do it. Then have things for those days when you don't want to do those high intensity workouts or go and do that sport. So maybe some yoga, some indoor exercises, or Pilates. Another tip for you with this is to lay out your clothes the night before so that you don't really have an excuse. It's there, you're ready to go. And also to, if you're going to do a sport like me, to set a reminder the day before and the day of, so you can mentally prepare. You know what you're going to be doing that evening or that afternoon, that morning, whatever. You just know that it's coming up so you can prepare yourself. So the next part of your plan really goes hand in hand with the other one, and that is to elevate your diet. So again, how you eat is how you'll be in the future. So though you might have like a fast metabolism right now and, you know, you feel like it's not affecting you, it will be affecting you, because if you're not getting the right vitamins and it's not showing now, it will soon, and it will show later in life when you really don't want to be, you know, having vitamin deficiencies or having all of these issues pop up because of the fact that you were eating junk food and highly processed food when you were younger. So with this, it's really about doing your own research, because there's many different diets, there's many different ways of eating out there. Every body is different, so what works for you might not work for me, for example. But I would say to be mindful of a lot of the information that's out there, and to really just follow like registered dietitians and nutritionists who actually know what they're talking about. There's a lot of kind of these fad diets and people saying, you know, random stuff on the internet about nutrition and dieting that's just not true, and actually is probably going to be really harmful for you. So like I said, you know, you're independent, you can do what you want in terms of having a good diet, but please just be careful and kind of vet some of the information that there is out there. I think looking into gut health is also really good. I recently read The Mind-Gut Connection and it was just amazing. There was so much key information in there. So if you've had some sort of gut issues, or if you've got like a few issues that have popped up and you're not too sure where they've come from, you know, maybe you've had a few tests, you've gone to the doctors, maybe see how maybe your gut could be affecting it. And a tip that will give you for elevating your diet is to just try some new recipes. So maybe have a look for an old cookbook that you haven't gone through, or maybe one that's like your grandma's or your mum's or something like that, and just flick through it and then see what page it lands on each week, and then commit yourself to cooking that and try and do that each week. So therefore you're learning a new recipe each week. Next for your plan, feeling good in the inside often means feeling good on the outside. And I know outward looks is not absolutely everything, because it's not absolutely everything, but it does help. If you look good to yourself, if you feel that you look good, then you will feel good, and that's key, that's what matters. So go through your wardrobe and see what in there you wear on rotation. Why do you like it? What colours? What, what's the fit? How does it fit on you? Why do you like that fit? Maybe have a look at, colour analysis and what body type you are. I know a lot of these things are kind of, a lot of people have their opinions and thoughts in it, and so do I. I mean, I'm still not sure what colour season I'm in, but whatever. I still think it might be good to just have a little look at and see what colours you might potentially suit. Then make a Pinterest board of styles and fashion and different outfits that you like, and I would say focus on your skin colour, focus on models or people, influencers who have the same body type as you, maybe the same hair colourings, things like that. So you know that because you look maybe a bit similar to them, then what will suit you will look similar as well. I would also say to focus on long-lasting natural fibres, so things like cotton and wool, silk, these natural fibres that are going to be breathable, that's going to be good for your skin. I would recommend having a look on Vinted to find some of these items, because you can get them for a lot less than, brand new off some sites. So yeah. And my tip for this is to download some of those apps. I'll put some pictures here, which is like, if you've seen Clueless, Cher, where like at the beginning she has a wardrobe sort of like planner and it shows what's in a wardrobe, and she starts like matching it up for the outfit of her day. That's so cool. Like when I saw that, I was like, I want that so bad. But you can literally get apps where you take a picture of each of your items of clothing and then you can match up what you're going to wear that day. So for me, that's quite helpful, because I have like too many clothes and I forget what I have. So I take pictures of them and then I match them up, and then I'm able to see what goes with what. So yeah, I recommend this because it's really helpful. So the next thing is to protect your energy. So that means block, delete, unfriend anyone who is not serving you and is bringing your energy down. People pleasing and transactional relationships are done. So if you're in a situationship and it's just taking energy away from you, it's just negative, you feel like you're focusing on it too much instead of, you and your glow up, then block them, delete them. They're not worth your time and energy. Similarly, you don't need people who are going to be rude about you or gossip about you, say things behind your back. So delete them, block them, say goodbye, because they are not the people for you. They are not going to be there for you, and you don't want them in your glow up. This is about you and your glow up, not about them. So this can also be done with like influencers and people who you might follow online. Maybe they're actually like really motivational, or maybe you really like the content, but right now you're just not feeling it because maybe you want to focus more like on yourself and not on what other people are producing. Then just mute them. Like, you don't have to block them or unfollow them, delete them, whatever. You can just mute them for a bit, and then when you feel like going back to it, you can just unmute it. So yeah, that's my tip for you. But yeah, just remember that this is your glow up. You choose who is part of it. And the last thing that you need to do, but probably the most important, is to set goals with intention. So you need to set goals that are doable, actionable, and are actually like attractive to you in some type of way. So these goals need to have something towards them each day. Like, you need to set a routine with these goals. So you don't just kind of end up getting to the end of like 2025 and then suddenly you're like, oh, I've not done anything. I mean, like, I've done that too many times and it just doesn't feel good, because if you wanted to do that, then you need to honour and respect the fact that you want to complete that goal. I think also writing down and understand the why. Sometimes we, put a goal down and we don't actually know why we're even doing that. And I think that the why is so key, because it will give us that spurt of like motivation that we really need. And so understand why you want to get fit, understand why you want to eat better, understand why, you want to start cooking your own food or meeting new people. Like, you need to have a why behind it. Visualization is so key because you're training your brain to already expect those things. It's like manifestation. And so for me, I personally picture myself with like the 100k silver play button from YouTube. I picture myself with it daily. So I know I'm a long way off right now, but like, that's my goal. That's what I want. And so I picture it. I know how it's going to feel. I know how it's going to look. I just see it so clearly. And so that's my goal, that's what I'm working towards. And so yeah, a tip for you in terms of setting goals is to make sure that you celebrate the little wins on the way, because otherwise you're going to get to, you know, your end goal and it's just going to be like, okay, when's the next thing gonna happen? Because you need to celebrate your achievements and your accomplishments along the way, because each day you're doing something to become that person, to do that thing that you want to do. And so you need to just celebrate that and like appreciate yourself. If you follow this plan, it will set you ahead for 2025 without a doubt. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.